it is unacceptable. Everyone who has the motorcycles are unpaid. They pollute the noise in the street and in the neighborhood. No matter what you tell me, people who ride motorcycles are unpaid. No argue with me. That's my conclusion. People who ride motorcycles are unpaid. That's my opinion, and I stand by it. Rumpit. They are the worst. They are the menace to society. Hey, hey, you must be Ahmad Faiz, right? I thought you are Dato Abu Jalil's sons. You must be rich, right? I heard a lot of things about your father. Come on, man. Buy me a lunch, please. Come on, I know you have money. Yes, I am Dato Jalil's son, but sir, I do not have much money right now. Please don't bother me, sir. I don't have much money right now. Please, sir, don't bother me. I'm not going to buy you lunch. I'm sorry. What? I thought rich people have money every time they went to eat. I always see you with your fancy car, man. Come on, don't do this to me, man. I need to eat some lunch. I don't have much money today. Please. Yes, sir. That's my car, sir. But I bought it with my own money, sir. I was never spoiled by my father, sir. Please, sir. Thank you, sir. Do not bother me, sir. Sorry.
Shah, Shah, go do the dishes, please.
Hmm, looks messy. Isha, finish all up.
It's a very good day I bid to all of my audiences, especially to my respected lecturer, Sir Rafiq. My name is Muhammad Shafiq bin Muhammad Safizal, and this is my partner,
I'm Akmal Rusdi Ben Azari.
and we will be your moderator for today. We have three panelists, which is the first one is Fidaus,
My name is Muafidos bin Muhammad Fazila.
our second one is Tuina,
Hi, my name is Rina Safia.
and the last of our panelists is Afif.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Hafiz Sahabuddin.
So for today's topic is we're gonna tackle on intercultural communication, which is we will be focused specifically on stereotype. So the video that you guys just saw just a small scale of what is happening right now. So if you were going to explain the situation or the topic to someone in your own word, how do you guys explain it? Can we start with Fidaus?
If I were to break it down for an easier consumption, I would say that stereotype is a specific belief or assumption about a person based only on their group. They will push away any individual characteristic of other person. There's a reason why this happens. It either because of outside influence or maybe trauma past. I believe there's all of it I could say about this subject.
Okay, in my personal definition, is stereotype is a predefined appearance or collection of traits that many people feel represents a specific type of person or object. That's all for me.
Well, for me, stereotype is a standardized mental picture that is held commonly by the members of a group, and by defining it, they define it with an oversimplified opinion. So that's it for me, I guess.
Right, and the second question that we have for the panelists today will be, what do you think that could contribute to the factors or causes of stereotyping? We will direct the question to Norina.
Okay, the factors of stereotyping is the way we think creates stereotype. Simply knowing about social groups can lead us to be stereotyping their members because we assume there must be something important that lead to their common classification in the first place, something that makes them essentially alike. We see close up to the individual differences among members of our own social groups, but those in other social groups, um, but those sorry, but those in other social group blurs others in the distance into homogeneous world. Everyone a minor, everyone a minor variation on the same basic theme, or at best an exception, a way of acknowledging that someone doesn't fit your stereotype of their group without acknowledging that your stereotype might be wrong. That is one of the that is the factors of stereotype.
So the lack of knowledge and also homogeneous society causes the stereotyping.
Yes.
And for the next panelist, we have Fidaus. What do you think of the the causes of stereotype?
Listening to Norina just now, I actually agree about her statement about this question because yes, we do base our knowledge on a certain subject, and aside from the knowledge, we also use our experience, and startup can also be about our previous experience, which could varies from a simple bump with a rude stranger up until something to a higher scale like a misfortune accident with that took the life of our beloved one. It can arise from painful or embarrassing memory that could leave negative impact on a person. Other than that, I believe that overgeneralization of a group is also one of the cause why it happens. These things happens out of a person ignorance, which could be because of they are too lazy or they didn't social enough to accept this idea of um, a normal neutral. It, it could be the result of a little exposure on social condition around them. I believe that is it.
So few social exposure, painful past experience, and also the arrogance of accepting other culture. So what do you think about the causes and factors to stereotype, Afif?
Well, personally for me, I think like the main factors that cause of stereotype towards people is the effect of media towards the daily life. Just because media is commonly that what we people, what we as young adults and stuff, like we interact with them every day, and thus the stereotypes, the perspective of stereotype is element is there, and therefore we just members it in our mindset, it aims in our mindset, and thus by this effect, it creates a really really much negative perception towards a single particular group. So I mean by expressing a negative perception towards a certain particular group at such a really really young age, it is really really negative, and the fact that this because of the history of the ethic itself is commonly seen, and they set the bar as simple as that, which creates such a limited imagination of the stereotype itself, and therefore I mean the stereotype itself, it flows from history from time to time, and it creates, and it also evolves because new stereotypes came, old stereotypes becomes old and stuff like that. So I do think that's quite one of the main factors and the causes of the stereotype nowadays.
Now that we know about what is stereotyping, in their own words, we know what is the factors from their opinion, but what are the effect of stereotyping to an individual or maybe to a society? Can we start with Afif?
Sure. So I think like the main effect of stereotyping towards the person and the society is that when the person will create a false alarm and an assumption towards the stereotype towards the group itself, and because of creating a false alarm and an assumption, it without an actual reasoning, it will affect the whole society, thus living up the stereotype name and creating such a negative impression. And also people from certain groups, they will experience they have been dominated by others, and due to being dominated by others, when we stereotypes of the major groups will deform, I mean destroy the minor groups, and the major will be claimed to be superior, and therefore the minor groups who actually want to defend themselves from this stereotype will lack the self-esteem to counter this statement, which is really really wrong nowadays. And finally, I do people do believe a lot in stereotype will have such a limited thinking towards a group, and by having a limited thinking, it will reduce your mindset and also your common sense towards them. And without common sense and but without common sense, and if you only like put stereotype itself, it is not a healthy mind, not a healthy communication, and it's therefore will fall apart eventually.
I see. So the way Afif described it is that it's basically leave a negative view on a certain group. But how do you, knowing us, how do you see it? How do you think that the effect of stereotype to a person, individual, or a group, a society?
So the the causes are the negative negative causes or negative effects that society will receive is being stereotype affects decision making. So in Malaysia, we have three main races. There is Malay, Chinese, and India. So if we were the boss of a big company, so sometimes bosses in Malaysia think that, oh, Malay was a lazy racist, a lazy person, while the Chinese one is a you know the hardworking person. So they think they will be take the Chinese guy or Chinese person, a Chinese races to be their workers. Okay, and then the second one, being stereotyped can lead to self stereotyping, such as if they if they doing this, they will be good. If they doing this, they will be a bad guy or a bad person. Such as if you are smoking, you were a bad person. If you are wearing necklace as a boy, as a man, you were a bad person. That is not a good thing that affects our society. That's all for me.
Seems like Afif and Rina have the same view on the effect of stereotyping. How about our last panelist, Fidaus? What is your remarks on this question?
I believe that the effect of stereotype on a society is yes, it could lead to a divisive community because people conform to be in a different group without any effort to reunite, and thus they will make people more hostile of each other. They will feel unsafe when they go outside. This will create like an unsafe environment. Other than that, stereotyping can also make a rather toxic person because once people thought that other kind of group is bad, they will think of it in a negative way. This will cause an unhealthy communication with the said person to others, thus making uncomfortable environment for other people.
All right, and so we have the fourth question. So, what could be the solution to this issue, to stereotyping and the negative effects of it? We will be directing the question to Norina.
Okay, in my opinion, I have my own solution. That is, first we have to educate ourselves. We have to educate our family first, our next generation. We cannot change others, but we have to start make the changes from our house. So we have to change our family perception, and then the second one is meet new people. We have to meet new people. We have to be friends with other races. We have to know other races' culture so that we will never stereotype others without knowing their cultures. And the last one is enter into a mutual relationship in which both parties opened themselves up to the other. If I'm learning things about you without revealing anything of myself in return, I'm not forming I'm not forming a reciprocal relationship, and I shouldn't be surprised if you are uninterested in sticking around for more. So that is my own solution.
So, creating a domestic level of teaching, exposure of different people, and meeting new people, and also a mutual relationships are some of the solutions that Norina gave. So, what about Afif? What do you think of this solution for the stereotype?
Well, I have to agree with Novena with the point that she actually explained that it must be we need to self-educate. However, there are other options other than self-educate, which is you can actually, I mean, if you can identify these people of they've been stereotyped and it is quite a dangerous thing that will cause a havoc, then why not send these type of people to the counseling, and they need to relearn, they need to understand what is the bad, and they need to actually understand what is actually they're doing, because that is a type of an action. When by understanding the action, by understanding the root itself, only then the people with the stereotype mindset can able to understand it. Because stereotype, I understand that stereotype people mindset, they have been embedded in the mind since they were young. So in order to eliminate this effect effectively, so we need seeking counseling would be the best thing, as deep one-to-one talk would be actually solve a lot of issues to this, and I think this is quite one of the best solution that I can offer right now.
And is that all from you, Afif?
Yes, Akmal.
So, we are going to be directing the question to the last panelist, will be Fidos. What do you think, Fidos, about the solution to issues of stereotype and the causes?
Meanwhile, I believe that it is important about educating people regarding this issue. I believe that we should give people chance to be social, like, to know more people. And following this, I believe we should create a social friendly environment, a place where people come in and feel safe. Because due to our modern society, it is very rare for people to meet each other due to our culture of most people staying at home, not doing anything, watching phone, and also because of our work schedule. So, following this, I believe we should perhaps organize a public event for people to gather together at the same place and socialize. Therefore, we should give them insight about our true social culture and what is true, what's not, what's to avoid, and thus, I believe that is my take on this problem.
So, as the last panelist have answered the last question, I believe we have reached to the end of our discussion. And yes, stereotype is a very dangerous thing, and a very and it's something that we need to learn from it, and something that we not learn, and also aware of it. And as to that, I would like to thank you to all of the panelists. And my name is Muhammad Shafiq bin Muhammad Safizal, and this is my partner,
And I'm Akmal Rushdi Ben Azhari.
and we are your moderator for today. And goodbye and good day.
Thank you for participating.